Lisa is such a good tarot reader. I've experienced that for myself because Lisa's read for me quite a few times. But as a mod on her channel, I've also seen loads of times when people have said things like, oh yeah, that really resonates, or that's exactly it, you've hit the nail on the head. And because she doesn't sugarcoat, she just tells it like it is. It can really be quite an emotional and cathartic experience because they're not just being told what they want to hear, they're being told, as she says it, what you need to know. So I definitely recommend her. It's a really good idea to sign up for one of her memberships because they're such good value. You can be part of private live streams that take place before the main ones. And then you're in a much smaller group of people, so you're not competing with all these other people to get a reading. And it's also just a chance to chat with other like-minded people who have that kind of spirituality.
YouTube tarot reader has been found using bad language during her twice weekly live stream. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear. Only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Good morning and good afternoon, whichever time zone you are in. Welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic. My name is Lisa, and today we are going to be doing some tarot reading. So hopefully that's what you've come here for today. First of all, I've got to say welcome to Patricia and Holland, who were just on the members chat when I revealed just how sunburnt I am. As you can see, I've changed and put a t-shirt on, and now I am actually in a little bit of pain now because, yeah. So my poor shoulders have actually caught the sun. I went into the lounge and just went to my other half. I was like, think I caught the sun. And he was like, how have you done that? Because literally you've just been splooshed all with the suntan stuff. And I was like, oh no, factor 50. I will get some after sun. Thank you, Holland. I will. Good evening to Angie. Thank you very much for your super chat. I will get your question up. You're the first cab off the rank. But before I do, I have to go through the usual housekeeping on this channel. So then, as I do that, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, you've got to remember that you make all your own decisions about your own life. Okay, tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for that type of support, seek out a professional, please. Go and seek out professionals in those areas. Okay, as I always say, I am not a professional in those areas. I'm just a gifted amateur, except I'm not, because I'm an absolutely rubbish financial advisor. I know, otherwise I would have been betting on the day of the election in the UK. That's the only politics I'm going to say. But anyway, so what else? You've got to be 18 years of age or over on this to get a reading on this channel. That's not a requirement of YouTube. It's literally a requirement of me not wanting to deal with pissed off mums or dads or carers or parental figures or whatever it is coming to me and saying that I did a reading for their child and now they're refusing to eat broccoli or whatever it is, right? Don't want to get involved in all of that. And then the other thing is, please don't dox yourself on the internet. Take your internet safety seriously, right? I know we all click on everything and accept all those cookies and all of that nonsense, but please do keep your privacy. If you are wanting a private booking, you can always go across to my website, which is beyondauthentic.co.uk. There will be a discount code in the description box as soon as this live stream is over, unless I manage to change the settings and pop it in a second. But you can always go over there and book a private reading. Please do not put a load of personal stuff on the net, because you know what will happen in a few years' time when Google and Amazon and Microsoft, when they're all combined into one great big unholy beast. You know what will happen. They will be able to cross-reference and see exactly what you typed to this nano-sized micro YouTube channel way back in 2024. So just make sure everything you put on there is, you know, sound, if that makes sense. Right, so then with all of that being said, how do you get a tarot reading on this stream? Well, as you can see in the live chat there, Angie has already done the first way, and that is to send it as a super chat. Basically, super chat requests come in, they automatically go on a different screen, so it's a lot easier for me to see them, and it also means that you will be read first. So if we got, say, 4 super chats in at the same time, I would read them in the time zone at the time that they come in. So even if they came in the exact same minute, YouTube tells me the seconds that they come in, so they're put into that order. Okay, once I've done all the super chats, I will open up 3 rounds, and then you get to ask a question in the live chat, and then we will either toss the talisman if we've got 2 people in, or I do have some super spooky dice, and I've also got a spinny thing. Yes, so there's lots of ways that we pick people here on this channel. So then we don't need to worry about that right now, because Angie has already sent a super chat in, and Angie would like to know, what are Faisal's feelings towards me? That is fantastic. All right then, my darling. So then let's have a little look. So hi Ed, you'll be with us properly in about half an hour. Fantastic. Right then, so I'm clicking off the comment screen, so I now cannot see any of the comments. So mods, what I would say is, if Angie says something specifically that I'm way off target or something, then message me. But apart from that, we'll you know, you don't have to send me anything for the thing, for the doodah. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to put any comments in. So then, right, as always, we will change the camera position. Now, I'm not entirely certain we're on the right camera position with this one. Need to go up. Oops. And I need to go slightly. No, come on. Oh, this is being finicky today. There we go. Come on. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Look, hi, I'm here. So then, as always, we start the readings. Every single reading we separate with a ringing of a bell. Why do we do that? It's because it cleanses the space around me. And then we bring in Wispy, who is the elemental air dragon that I work with. And Wispy is the connector between myself and the Akashic records through the tarot, if that all makes sense. So then, let's have a wee look. Wispy, Angie wants to know, what are Faisal's feelings towards her? So let's have a look, Wispy. And this is we're gonna do the we want a good relationship spread. So I tell you what, we'll look at specifically the situation with Faisal, what the obstacles are, and what the potential is. No, sorry, how to overcome those obstacles, right? And we're going to do an inverted V. Okay, Wispy, an inverted triangle, and we're doing the situation, the obstacles, and how to overcome as a inverted triangle. There we go. And I'm using the Poppy Palin Everyday Enchantment deck. This is quite a modern deck with, well, I say modern, you'll see in it, it's got Carphone Warehouse, which ages this deck horrifically, but it also sets it at, you know, 2010 before they shut down. So then let's have a look. The situation from Faisal's feelings. We've got, oh, the High Priestess. Let me get the animations. And in the obstacle, we've got the 9 of Blades, the obstacle deck suit in the obstacle position. That's interesting. And then how to overcome that. We've got the 5 of Blades, right? That makes sense. And then we've got the connecting the High Priestess with the 9 of Blades. We've got the Knight of Cups. and connecting the 9 of blades to the 5 of blades reversed, we've got the Chariot reversed. And then right at the very root of it all, we've got the Tower upright. Right then, so let's have a look. You can see this is a much more modern design of a deck. I do love this deck. So in the situation, so Faisal's situation, what Faisal is thinking about you, this could be a couple of things, Angie, right? So he could see you as the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess traditionally is quite an aloof character, sat on a throne, a little bit snooty, nose in the air, you know. But this High Priestess, look, this is a goth of all goths High Priestess. In an alley with the pussycats, but you can see we've got the 2 pillars behind, as in the standard one. We've got this fox, there's a mirror, we've got this writing, and we've got this book. So, and I don't know whether you can quite see it. Almost, I want to say it says Torah on there, but it's basically based on the Torah, on this idea of the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess in tarot is very much about spirituality, but is about doing things by the book. Now, that is, it's about doing things as they should be done, and about doing things in a way that is kind of legit, if you know what I mean, right? The fact that this is reversed means that it could mean one of a couple of things. It could mean that he sees you as needing to follow those rules, needing to have those rules in place, okay? The other thing, though, because it's reversed, it could be that he sees you as being like having no rules. Do you know what I mean? He sees you as flouting and maybe upsetting that sort of sense of, oh, all the things I hate, you know, that sense of authority and that sense of normalness and the way things are supposed to be. It's like upsetting that apple cart somehow. The High Priestess, when she's reversed, though, can also be highly dictatorial. Like, she comes in not just with the you've got to follow these, she comes in with this idea of actually you don't just have to follow what I'm saying, like you have to follow this to the letter, to the structure, like pious religious you know, really pious, really sort of my way or the highway. Almost like, do you remember in Game of Thrones when Cersei was stripped nude and had to go through the streets with that one going, shame, shame? It's almost like that. It's like the High Priestess, when she's reversed, is the one going, ding, shame, ding, shame. Do you know what I mean? She's that pious. And I'm not saying that you are, but it could well be that there is something where you're a stickler for the rules. Do you know what I mean? Moving on to the obstacle within that situation, within the relationship or whatever, we've got the 9 of blades. Now, in other suits, this will be the 9 of swords, but you can see here it is keeping this person up at night. They are not sleeping. They've got their head in their hands. They've got barbed wire around their wrists, figuratively, because it's a tattoo. They've got a razor blade necklace. They've got the sleeping pills there. They cannot sleep, even though it's only 10 past 10. They still cannot sleep. Lots and lots of worries, lots and lots of concerns. You can see all these astrological signs here on the blanket. They are absolutely sleepless nights. They are struggling to deal with all of what's happening, right? So whatever Faisal's going with, whatever's happening, it's overwhelming for them. And that connection, it's like it's causing them challenges and hurdles, because that is what the blades in this deck, that is what the blades card represents. It's turmoil, it's difficulty, it's all of that that they're currently going through. Now, it's interesting, there's not a lot of emotional cards here, so I don't know what the exact connection is between you and Faisal, but it does feel like there's been a disturbance in the force. No, there's been some kind of fallout or some kind of disagreement when it comes to, you know, the pair of yours relationship. Now, the 5 of blades, this one again, this is saying this is how to overcome this situation. So to overcome this idea of there being a lot of hurdles and a lot of arguments and a lot of argy-bargy, the Five of Blades is talking about, you know, trying to find the best way through, trying to find that you know, that silver lining on those dark clouds, because you've kind of got this idea, look, we've got all of these blades here and you've got these three angry chefs that are shouting, but this one is in charge. I am the chef. I am the head chef. You've got the sprite with their arms up, and even the bee, the wasp, is coming in here kind of going, you know, oh, let's see what's going on. This is a moment where it feels like there's been a lot of bad blood. There's been a lot of, I'm not going to start singing Taylor Swift, but there's been a lot of bad blood. There's been a lot of disagreement, a lot of arguing. And this chef is going, nope, stop. We're stopping now. Let's just put all of this behind us. Let's find a way. And the thing with the Five of Blades, even when it's reversed like this, which for me is saying that I think it may well be that you're the one who's saying, look, let's not keep arguing. Let's try and find a way through this. It's going to be a challenge because the Blades is that challenge suit. So even in how to overcome all of this massive hurdle that Faisal's going through, even that is the case of trying to pause an argument when you're in mid-argument. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very difficult to do that. It's normally when you're in the middle of that argument, it's the worst time because you're so involved, you're so in the middle of it that you're not able to just go, okay, let's pause, let's pause it there, let's take a break, let's think about what we're thinking about and think about what we're saying. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not that. It's in the midst of it, it's too tough. Does that make sense? I move the root card down there. So connecting this High Priestess with the Nine of Blades, we've got the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups, Knights are the teenage energy in the deck, right? They are the ones that go off half-cocked. They are the ones that act first, think later. They are the ones that live by that idea of ask for forgiveness, not permission. And Cups is the emotional suit, and this is the only emotional suit card that you've got in this reading. Now, Cups is love, romance, but it's also all of those emotions that come from that. So the fact that we've got this person is busking, but you can see, oh, what are they looking at? Oh, there is this person over here, look, and they are wearing a similar top. They've got similar fashion. They've got a similar colour skirt on, similar colour bottoms. Is this preening? A little clue, we've got this pigeon here puffing himself up. Oh, look at me. Aren't I wonderful? Look at me. And this girl pigeon just looking away, not really interested. And you've kind of got this vibe. The Knight of Cups are the players in the deck, right? The Kings are even worse, but the Knights are the wannabe players. They are the ones who they might look at someone else. It's that they're the ones who might flirt with a waitress. They might have, you know, too friendly a conversation with someone. It's that sort of vibe that the Knights give. They are very, very loving, but they're also very, very hard to keep in a monogamous box. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know whether there is an element here around maybe somebody looking for too long at somebody else, maybe someone being a little bit too flirty, or even going much further than that. But it does feel like this is what's causing a lot of this headachy situation. When we look at the headache to the and the nightmares and all of that unsleepfulness, yes, insomnia is what I was trying to say. When we look at that and how you get past it by looking at the you know, the larger picture and how things have actually gone, and looking for that silver lining of life, we've got the Chariot. Now the Chariot is an amazing card, but this Chariot's reversed. So the Chariot talks about going on a journey, right? And the key thing about the Chariot, as you can see in that little animation, there's lots of lavishness. Gold, there's wreaths, there's shiny armor, all of that's going on, because the Chariot card is about movement or a journey, but a journey that is victorious, a journey that is positively aspected in the stars, right? This journey is reversed. And there doesn't, even this way round, we've got some positive symbols. So we've got insects and we've got a dandelion. So we've got the gold coming in here. We've got, again, another pigeon, but we've got this brightness. We've got a certain amount of showing offness from the Chariot. But this journey is reversed. So it doesn't feel as if it doesn't feel as if Faisal wants the same things you want. Okay, if Faisal is looking around and is being a little bit of a, I don't want to say a player, but that is the only word that comes up. If Faisal is looking around at what other opportunities for relationships or what other opportunities for friendships or whatever that connection is, if he's looking at everywhere else, then maybe this is a journey that you're both not going to be on together. Do you know what I mean? Maybe this is a single person's journey, not a relationship journey, if that is what the two of you share. I'm assuming it is, because normally with the nightmare situation, that is very rarely do we feel upset about things to this extent if it isn't from a family member or a loved one or partner. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, the bank may mess up and, you know, take too much money out, or yes, you might have an unexpected tax bill. It's not normally like this. Do you know what I mean? And then right at the end of it all, we've got the Tower card. So it feels as if the rug has been pulled. So whether that is, I mean, it could even be, let me just be brutally honest with you, Angie. It could be that you've looked elsewhere, or that you've looked for, you know, stared at that cute waiter for a little bit too long and Faisal's picked up on that. I don't know. But the Tower card is having that rug pulled from under you. In traditional Tower cards, you can see it's a lot more about the Tower aspect. Whereas here, I don't know if you've sent it in dollars, so I'm assuming you're in America, because we call this in the UK a tower block. So I'm not sure what an apartment building is kind of like what it is, but it is what we would call a tower block. So you can see here the lightning is hitting, and we've got that sort of fiery explosion. And we've got bricks falling. We haven't got the people jumping, but we've got the bricks falling. So again, it's that ultimate surprise that's upturned your world, or in this case, Faisal's world. And that is the root of all of this. So there's been some sort of short, sharp shock that Faisal's hit. And a lot of this has come from that. So whether Faisal has realised that maybe you've looked elsewhere, or maybe Faisal's found himself looking elsewhere, and that's what that short, sharp shock was. But let me just show you. If we take the Nightmare card out of the equation, we go from the High Priestess reverse. So this idea of piety, almost really, really strong stickler for religious rules and for, you know, sort of that spiritual rules, which is a little bit in conflict with the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is that romantic player, leading to the Tower, which is that short, sharp shock, that tables being turned, everything suddenly, what was up is now down, what was left is right, everything being topsy-turvy, to the Chariot. But the Chariot is blocked, which means there isn't a journey. This journey, this spiritual journey, or this even physical movement, this going somewhere, has been stopped, and it's all on its head. But there is still, even though this is quite a dramatic story with these cards, both of these cards being reversed, and this being the explosive, you know, shenanigans card, the Five of Blades coming up as where we're headed, what the future is looking at, is actually not too bad. Okay, so to sum up, I think Faisal, whether there's been some arguments or not, Faisal has hopes that perhaps things aren't as bad as they could have been, even though it does seem that there is a very legitimate reason that there is a change in circumstances. Does that make sense? A very legitimate reason for either you to perhaps be untrusting of Faisal and his actions, or for Faisal to be untrusting of those actions, if that makes sense. Either way, it definitely looks as if there's some trust issues to come. So I would say in this, the only positive emotion card is the Knight of Cups, and that's the least conducive to a happy, stable relationship in that position, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, Angie. I really do. Thank you ever so much for your question, and I hope that does help. Right, let me change the camera back to the face camera. I know, right, you've got to look at my ugly mug again. Let me just move that. I must find a way to have that camera there. There we go. Right, let's have a look. Thank you. A spinny thing. It is a very technical term for a spinny thing. Angie, she's on point 100%. Thank you, my darling. You had a disagreement. I'm so sorry about that. And there's no communication at the moment. Do you know what? This card is such a hard card to deal with if you're going through that, because it is, I like, for something to be troubling you so much that you're up all night and you can't sleep, it's bound to be a big emotional thing. As I say, it isn't like, oh, your boss is giving you, one less shift than you were expecting, or has asked you to go in an hour early, or anything like that. It's not like a small thing. It's going to be a big thing. It's going to be something that kind of chews at your heartstrings a little bit, and is kind of like, yeah. But yeah, I hope that helps. Listen, my advice would be keep the door open, keep channels of conversation open, and maybe have a conversation down the line with a calmer mind and a cooler head, and then see what happens from there. So yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling. He's the one having sleepless nights. Well, listen, at the end of the day, if he's done messed up and you've decided that his energy isn't worth your energy anymore, then so be it. You wouldn't be the first person to go, do you know what, I'm worth more than you. But thank you ever so much for your question. You are open. This is it, you see. At the end of the day, the world is in such a topsy-turvy place right now. There is so much going on in the world that sometimes connections get frayed, right? I am about forgiveness, but I'm also about vengeance. No, I'm not. I'm also about, like, some things can't be forgiven. Do you know what I mean? Like, some things can, and a lot of things can't be forgiven. It just depends where your boundaries are on that. And if your boundary has been crossed, then you've got to honor what is right for you. And I hope that helps. And thank you ever so much for your donation. Right then, so everybody, you've just for those of you that have just come in, Ed's here. Hello, Ed. You couldn't hear on the way back. Did I have technical issues? Not that I'm aware of, and not that anybody said, but it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore with the lovely YouTubes. Oh, thank you, Angie. It's a shame I haven't got like a way of clipping this and then sort of saying, look at all these lovely positive comments I've had. Actually, I probably could, couldn't I? I probably could, to be fair. I probably could. But yeah, come back and see us, Angie. We're here every Tuesday and Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time. And we also do occasional live streams on Thursday evenings at 11:45 UK time, which is different in the rest of the world. So yeah, I can't remember what time it is. I'm going to put it on my other monitor. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it on my other monitor, and then I'll be like, look, here's what the time zones are. Anyway, right then, let me just have a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in just a minute, I'm going to open up another round. Okay. Before I do though, hang on, what can I do? Before I do, Holland, forgive me. I'm just going to hit a little quick message from our lovely moderator, Holland, who has their own channel. Do go and check out Holland M, and they've got other channels coming, which hopefully Holland will be able to put into the chat once they are happy with sharing. But anyway, Holland did a video and talked about me in one of their lovely videos. So I'm just going to hit this. I will be back and we're going to open a free round in 1 minute. So if you want a free round, stick around for 1 minute.
Lisa is such a good tarot reader. I've experienced that for myself because Lisa's read for me quite a few times. But as a mod on her channel, I've also seen loads of times when people have said things like, oh yeah, that really resonates, or that's exactly it, you've hit the nail on the head. And because she doesn't sugarcoat, she just tells it like it is. It can really be quite an emotional and cathartic experience because they're not just being told what they want to hear, they're being told, as she says it, what you need to know. So I definitely recommend her. It's a really good idea to sign up for one of her memberships because they're such good value. You can be part of private live streams that take place before the main ones. And then you're in a much smaller group of people, so you're not competing with all these other people to get a reading. And it's also just a chance to chat with other like-minded people who have that kind of spirituality.
Absolutely it is. Sorry, I was just going to stand up, lean on my old lady stick. There we go. There we go. Oh, I just had to run and grab something because I'm going to open up the next round, right? So if you would like a free tarot reading, this is the time to pop your question in. And if we get 2 people, we toss the talisman here. But if we get more than 2 people, look, I've got a lovely spinny thing. So we can spin the spinny thing to see who gets the reading. It's a spinny thing. So then, this is what you need to do. Pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, okay? Then I will grab one of those at random and read for that person. If, however, you want to guarantee that you are the next person, you can do that by sending a super chat, okay? So there are 2 ways of doing that. Send a super chat or pop a question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I'll pick one of those at random. In case you missed it, here is all of that again. Yes, indeed. Right then, let's have a wee look. I believe Holling just posted their upcoming channel. It's for composers and is there. So go and have a look at Composers School on the YouTubes. It's not, I don't think it's up yet, but it will be coming up very, very, very soon. Marie Rogers, good evening to you, my darling. You are the only person who has popped a question into the live chat right now, which means you don't need the spinny thing. You don't need the spinny thing. So I can put that somewhere else because you get the next question. How cool is that? How cool is that? Yay! I know, right? That's so cool. Right then. So I'm swapping over. I don't know why, but my gut instinct said grab the 5th spirit for the next reading. So that's what we're going to do. I've got no idea why, but I do as I'm told. I do what the spiritual side tell me. Hi Ed, how are we all doing this fine evening? I am doing very well, apart from the sunburn I got at the car boot sale. So yeah, apart from that, even though I was wearing a lot of sun stuff and Rufus slathered me in the stuff, I am, but enough of that. Right then, Marie, let's have a look. Your question is coming up, my darling, just about now. Right then, let me just see if I can sort this. Sorry, everybody. I know everybody goes, oh my God, Lisa, stop messing with the camera. I'm trying to get it. Why have I got a light on the camera? Hold on 1 second. Where's it to turn the light off? Oh, it's not going to do it. Oh, why is this never easy? Where's the button to turn off the light? Oh, well, never mind. Never mind. Let's put the other big light on anyway. There we go. So then, Marie, as always, I'm going to cleanse the space between the readings and bring in the ever lovely Whisper. No, bring in the ever lovely Wispy. What does the summer hold for you? Let's have a look. Hopefully, my darling, sunny days, peace and tranquility, and lovely barbecues with lovely food and lovely people. There you go. That would be my idyllic summer, I think, except maybe without the people. Lovely doggos, but maybe one lovely person to do the cooking so that I don't have to. Yeah, that would be that would be my idyllic summer, I think. Actually, do you know what I would love to do this summer? Hang out with the mods. I would love to do, like, have a lovely summer cookout type thing. Whether or not that's ever going to happen, because the mods are all over the country, I don't know, but it would be so lovely. Thank you, Wispy. Wispy's like, we're talking about what Marie is having this summer, not what you want, Lisa. Look at this now, throwing them all around. Right, okay. Lisa, you're a professional bloody tarot reader. You've been doing this 30 years. You think you'd know how to shuffle by now. So then, here we go. Right, Wispy, one more round of shuff. That's one. That's two. That's three. And that's four. 4 shuffs. That's all the shuffs. So then, let's have a look. Do your drop. And what does the summer hold for you? We're going to do you a where you are now, what you need to know about the summer, and what you are heading towards, if that makes sense. So I might have to angle this again ever so slightly. There we go. That looks good to me. So then, where you are right now, what is coming up? Ooh, the Hierophant, the teacher, the guru card. Interesting. What you need to know, 10 of Pentacles. It's going to be a financial summer, or there's either some money coming your way, or you're going to be working through the summer. And we've got the 4 of Cups as well. That's not bad. That is not bad. Okay. So then, let's have a look. So the 5 of Hierophant. Lisa, did you really just almost say that? So the 5th card of the majors is the Hierophant. In other decks, it looks a lot more pious, a lot more religious, but the meaning of the card is about being a guru or a teacher, having that knowledge and imparting that knowledge. You can see on the little animation, I'll play it again, you can see we've got the person there very piously sat on their throne. In a lot of decks, the person has either 2 people at their feet. Sometimes there'll be a couple of keys in front of them. Sometimes the keys, the Hierophant will be holding the keys. The keys are the keys to knowledge and the keys to wisdom, the keys to understanding. This Hierophant, you can see, has a lot happening. We've got the earth elements symbol going on here on a pin. We've got the books here, card readings, their glasses, they're going through, they're studying, they're working. And this is what the Hierophant in this deck relates to. So I don't know whether that is you being the guru, taking on a teacher role, or doing some teaching type element over the summer, or whether you're going to be seeking the knowledge of the guru, whether you're going to try and find a way of, whether it be spiritual knowledge, because obviously that's what everybody thinks when you say guru, but it could also be a teacher, so it could be a new course, something. There is something here about either imparting knowledge or gaining knowledge this summer. What you need to know, the 10 of Pentacles. Again, this can go 2 ways depending on what this card relates to. It could be that if you are imparting your knowledge, you are going to be given payment for that. So you could have quite a good income this summer, a good money, ching ching type situation. You could have a lot of cash coming your way, because Pentacles is all about career, work and finances. There is an element of study that connects with the Pentacles as well, that could also connect with the Hierophant. So if you are looking at doing some study over the summer, it could both be expensive, or there could be a financial boost for you, but it could also be very hard work, okay? Because the 10 of Pentacles, it's a lot, but I always say the 9 is full, the 10 is overflowing. So in this case, there could be so much on work and career wise that it won't feel like a summer break at all. it all depends on what this card means to you. Okay, if you are studying, it's going to be a lot to study. If you are the teacher here, then I think you're going to be inundated with work, and I think you're also going to get quite a decent financial boost from that. The outcome or the future opportunity we've got is a bit of a mixed card, this one, the Four of Cups, because Cups is your emotional suit, but the Four, when it's reversed, is talking about stagnation. So when it's like this, it's talking about stability. 4 table legs, 4 chair legs, you know, things are nice and stable. When it's reversed, that water goes incredibly dark, incredibly stagnant, a lot less flow to it. The situation becomes almost stuck in a rut, boring. You know, those are the type of words associated when it's this way. So it could well be that if you are working, especially if you're doing some sort of teacher or some sort of study course, it could well be that you're not going to have a lot of time off to enjoy the summer months, and that actually it's going to feel same old, like you're stuck in a rut for part of that, or for most of the summer. Does that make sense? I'm going to pull you one extra card. Wispy, what I want to find is, in fact, I'm going to cut the deck. So Wispy, what I want to find is a nice self-care or self-love card that can help with this element of the Ten of Pentacles and burnout or overwork. Okay, so that's what I want, Wispy. One card that is going to relate to how Marie can... Oh, it's going again. How Marie can stave that off. Right. Okay, I think it's there. So here we go. 7 of Swords reversed. Right, Swords is trouble and strife, challenges. The 7 is difficult choices, difficult decisions, difficult, you know, there's 7 different doors, which one do you go through? It's all of that type of situation. But this is reversed, and I think this is possibly saying, because of the way I asked the question to Wispy, I think this is saying, do not get involved in other people's drama. Do not get involved in or do not get dragged into other situations. Okay, if you have to make big decisions, try and do it as quick as you can. Try and do it with your gut. Try and do it with your head, and you know, head and gut working together. But try not to get into a situation where you've got those unwinnable choices to make, if that makes sense. And if this means drama around you, just avoid it. Just avoid those people, because it's not going to be worth it. But hopefully, Marie, that helps. Thank you ever so much for your question. And again, thank you very much for being here as a subscriber. Right then, everybody, let's change that one back. Can you see the cat? You can see the camera. You can see the cat. Well, you can't. Well, I've got a word up, but look, the minute I drop the doodah, there we go. Look, there we go. Look, you can just sit there. Never mind. Right then, let's have a look. Ed, so is Rufus right now. So is Rufus right now. RB, please stop spamming the chat. Please stop spamming the chat. It's really important. No spam. The only spam we'll accept is a spam... I forgot what they're called. What they're called. Spam cutlet. No. Spam fillet. Spam fry. Spam... What's it called where they do the slice of spam and then they fry it in a pan? It's got a name to it. A spam filter. No. Oh yeah, that would do. The only spam we accept is a spam filter. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It doesn't really work. It's not really as comical, but that will do. Spam fritter. Spam fritter. Spam fritter. Right, let me go. Shall we all just rewind that? Pretend I never said that. RB, please don't spam in the chat. The only spam we like on this channel is a spam fritter. I know, right? Thank you, Ed. I got there eventually. Right then, everybody. Right then, everybody. Right then, everybody. It is time. Yeah, thank you. It is time. Shall we have another round? So how do you get a question if you're wanting a question? There are 2 ways on this channel to get a question. Put vinegar on my sunburn. Thank you. I've never heard that before. I will try that. I've got some white vinegar. I've also got some white wine vinegar. I've also got some white wine. So, you know, one way or another, we'll get it working. So then, if you would like a question, if you would like to pop a question in, there are two ways to get a question answered on this channel. The first way, the easiest way, send it as a super chat. Okay, pop it into the super chat, any amount. If it's something you desperately want to know and you want to be the next person getting a reading, that is the best way to do it. If not, if you can't or you don't want to send a super chat for whatever reason, no pressure. You can pop your question into the live chat right now, starting with the word question. So go ahead and do that right now. Pop it in the live chat. And yeah, that is how you do it on this channel. I will then pick one of those at random. Okay, so just because you're posting the question doesn't actually mean that your question is going to be answered. The only way to guarantee that is a super chat. But I will grab one of them at random, and I've even got this brand new spinny thing to be able to do that. So that's how you do it, just in case none of that made sense, because I very rarely do when I'm talking in between readings. Then here is R. Graham with a quick recap. Honest. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Right then, so it looks like, once again, it looks like I've got one single question. Let me have a look then. So Sean G. I did press it. Sean G, good evening, good afternoon. Hello, my darling. Let me have a wee look. Your question is, hang on. I need to click on the other button. I haven't done that yet. There we go. So your question is, will I get my painting, in the museum show? You missed the deadline, but you're praying God will work something out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's just say fingers crossed, my darling. So let's have a look at what the cards have to say. I'm going to stick to the fifth spirit, I think. So then here we go. What I'm going to do is change the doodah. There we go. Change the screen to the card cam, and we're going to crack on with the cleansing bell. We ring the bell, and we bring in the ever lovely Wispy, our air dragon. So if people don't know what I'm talking about when I say the air dragon, if you have a look in the description box just down below, there is a link to a podcast that me and Neil did, all about what my dragons are. So Wispy kind of looks a little bit like this, but made out of steam, ether, clouds, you know, all of that sort of floaty, smoky, all of that. If that was a physical form of a dragon like this, that would be what Wispy is. And he basically connects the tarot deck to the Akashic Records for me. So yes, and the Akashic Records is the spiritual plane where all knowledge, oh god, I just realized, hang on a second, I just popped that back in the deck and I shouldn't have done, because that jumped out legitimately. Oh, now I'm not going to be able to find it. Come on, Hermit, where are you? Where's the Hermit gone? There we go. Right, so why do I need that card? Because when a card jumps, after I've asked Wispy, when a card jumps, it basically means it is a clarifying or modifying card. Okay, now what that means in tarot, or for myself and the way that I read the cards, is that this card now modifies the reading that comes up after it, right? So the Hermit now basically changes the meaning of the cards that are about to come up, Sean. So what does the Hermit mean? Well, the Hermit is a bit of a loner, and the Hermit is somebody who takes a lot of time out of from other people to basically gain that that future knowledge, if you know what I mean. So the Hermit is somebody who sets themselves apart of the wider society in order to gain that knowledge. And in the animation there, you saw the lantern. Here we've got the lantern is actually ethereal. So it's talking about inner knowledge and spiritual knowledge and all of those lovely, lovely things. So then, just because, Wispy, just because I did have to find the hermit, I am going to do one more shuff round. Very loosely, 2, 3 and 4. So normally, no, that doesn't count, Wispy. Normally when one card drops, it is I stop shuffling, but because I had to go back through the deck, I saw a lot of the positions of the cards, so I don't want that to influence me. So there we go. Right then, let's cut the deck. No, it's going out, it's going lower. There you go. I knew, I could tell. Right then, so will you get your painting in the museum show? So we want to look at, I tell you what, we'll go option A, it goes in. Option B, it doesn't. And then we'll see what the decider card is. Okay, so option A, it goes in. Option B, it doesn't. And the decider card. Let's see what we have in store. The Ace of Wands, it goes in. And the Seven of Swords, it doesn't. Right, so... okay, and the Knight of Wands. So... my gut instinct is that it goes in because you've got the Ace of Wands here, right? Ace is new beginning, new starts, and it is also Wands, which is about self-esteem, self-confidence, all those lovely things. So there is I think there is a very good chance that it goes in, right? I think there is, but you might have to. Oh, I don't know. Why am I thinking? Why am I thinking there's a caveat, Wispy? Why is there a caveat? Is there a reserve list? Because it could end up being on a reserve list. I don't know if they do reserve a reserve list in a museum show. I don't know, but it almost feels like it's going to be positive, but maybe it might, oh gosh, it might not be this year's. I don't know whether it's I think this was the wrong spread for this, but let's see. Right, if it doesn't go in, lots of choices, lots of difficult choices, and lots of hurdles, challenges, or obstacles, all of that. So you've got a negative card for not going in and a positive card for going in, which is kind of what you'd expect. But what I would say in a reading like this is, if it's one or the other, the positive aspect, it's like yes or no. Do you know what I mean? It's more positive. But then we've got the Knight of Wands. There is something here. The caveat here is about... oh, Sean, it may well be that you're going to get a letter saying, we would absolutely loved to have hung your artwork, your painting. We think you're an amazing talent, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, the deadline is solid. Please enter it either next year or the next time. Reason I'm saying that is the Knight of Wands. If it was this way, it's like you rolled your dice, you've tried that, and hopefully you've tried that jump. Everything's going well. You've made the landing. It should be positive. But this is coming up reversed as well. So it's almost like with this Hermit card, it's almost saying to me that I think you've made a very positive impression. It all depends on whether the person judging is a stickler for the books. This Hermit card is talking about you have to separate yourself from the current and wait for later down the line to get that wisdom. This Knight of Wands being reversed is also saying, look, you're able to pull off the trick, but actually the last time you did it, you bashed your knee and you concussed yourself. So maybe lay off that trick for now. Do you know what I mean? It's like there are not just yet warnings coming up, but Oh, it's so conflicting, this, because the Ace of Wands is absolutely talking about opening up a brand new project, a new venture, and Wands is all about your self-esteem. So if it doesn't go in, they are going to have loved your painting, and it will literally be some Jobsworth somewhere that's gone, oh no, it said it had to be in at 5 p.m. on Friday, and actually the painting wasn't submitted until 5:07 on Friday. So they're not. Do you know what I mean? It will be the most picky Jobsworth fuckhead, sorry my language, but you know what I mean, a really horrible, like, proper little Karen that's disallowed it. But everybody else would be going, oh my god, this was so brilliant, this was so amazing, we really loved it, make sure this is entered next time. Do you know what I mean? That's the vibe I'm getting. If it does go in, then you are going to, like, you're going to owe some serious favors, and that's where I think this Knight of Wands is coming up. I don't think there's any issue about it not being the quality or it not being good enough, right? I don't think that's the issue. I think it's all about, are you going to have learnt the lessons for this wisdom if you scrape by, get it in sort of with a nudge and a wink and a favour? Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what the difficulty here in the cards is trying to work out. If I was forced to put a bet on it, I would say you are either in or on a reserve list. I don't know what a reserve list is. I think you've impressed them, and I think they will try and possibly make space. But is all I'm going to say. I think you might just scrape in by the seat of your pants, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Sean. I know I've given you a answer, but I honestly think that it. I honestly think that if it's managed to be in there this year, you would have just squeaked in on the merit of the painting. I think you've impressed with the merit with what you can do, and I think if it is up, that's the reason, and you've got to absolutely dwell in that. But also you've got to make damn sure it doesn't happen in the future, if that makes sense. My gut instinct is saying it will be in, or you know, first, or you'll be asked to submit it for the next show, if that makes sense. So you'll be specifically asked to display it, rather than it being, you know, you sending it in on chance. It will be that you are asked to display it. Hopefully that makes sense, Sean. Hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I hope that helps. I really do. Let me have a look back in the chat. Oh my, it's really weird because my gut instinct is saying you'll be in, but you'll be in with a but I don't know what that but is. I do know what a but is, you know. I don't have a butt because, you know, middle-aged white woman. But, you know, I used to have a butt when I was younger and cuter and fitter. Anyway, let's have a look. You don't need to know about my behind, do you? Let me have a wee look. You're trying to get your products in the gift shop. Oh, hang on. Before that, what's a reserve list? I've got no idea. Don't know if they have a reserve list. It's almost like, if somebody drops out, or if somebody's artwork is smaller than expected, or for whatever reason inappropriate, then you'll be in. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're straight in. But I think I think you'll be in it. I do think you'll be in it. Just you're trying to get your products in the gift shop and use that as the segue. That's really cool. That's really cool. What do you make? Where can we see your art? If you put a thing in the chat, right? If you've got a website or anything like that, put it in the chat, but don't do the HTTP or the www. Just put the address, and then don't put a dot and then put com, and we'll know it's seang.com or something, right? So if you've got a website, do that. Because yeah, it sounds. I love art. I love people's artwork. I wish I could paint or draw or sculpt. I'm quite good at doing digitally thingies, you know, like banners and things on online and stuff. I am not so good at doing the actual physical, getting a piece of paper and turning it into an artwork. Unfortunately, I'm really not. By the way, everybody, if you are wanting ever to book a private reading with me, either a personal reading if you happen to live in West Yorkshire in England, or if you want to book a one-to-one live Zoom type call, or if you want a one-to-one personal video recording with a 45-minute to an hour reading, you can go across to my website, talking about Sean's website, which is beyondauthentic.co.uk. There is Authentic 10 is a discount for 10% off. Don't try putting in Authentic 20 because there isn't an Authentic 20 discount. Okay. I may admit to having found a higher discount code than I was sent of an email of a company by doing that exact thing. Yep. So said company had sent a bit like the one in there where it says Authentic 10. They said, oh, you can get 10% off with Authentic 10. For example, and I put in Authentic 20 and it came up, you've got a 20% discount. So I put in Authentic 25 and it came up and said, you've got a 20% discount. So I tried 30, 40, 50, 60, all of that. Nope. But I did manage to change my allotted 10% to a special 20%. Not that I'm doing that on my website though. But yes, do have a little look, see, if you want to book a reading over there, by the way, and you get that 10% off discount just for having found the details on this here lovely YouTubes. So yes, no problem, Sean. I hope that helps. I really do. By the way, I love the color of your hair in this profile picture. I wish I could have vibrant hair again. But if I put chemicals on my hair and then try and color it, it will not be. I will end up looking like Kojak. If for young people, Kojak was a bald American private investigator, I think Professor X. There you go. I would end up looking at Sinead O'Connor. Who else? Jaden Parker Smith. Yes, is that the right name? Can't remember. That's who I would end up looking at. Anyway, shut up, Lisa. Shall we have some more lovely readings here? You're talking about watering. Oh, okay. I've just seen. Yeah. Watering plants in this heat is a technical field all in and of itself. So yes, water in the evening, soak. And if you can, as it says here, water from beneath. Anyway, shall we open up another round? I think we should. I think that would be a bloomin' good idea, everybody. Let's do that thing right now. Yay! Sorry everyone, I meant to say, if you would like a reading, put your reading in now. So pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it as a super chat if you would like a tarot reading on this here channel. If you put a question in for a free reading, it'll be a 3-card reading, and I will pick one of the questions at random. Okay, if however you want to guarantee your reading is next, do what Angie did earlier and just send it through as a super chat. Okay, so again, I'll give you a few seconds to get your questions in. Yes, indeed. What will your cards say? It looks like we've hit a quiet patch right now. So if you are wanting a reading, do please go ahead and either send it through as a super chat or stick it in the live comments section right now. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say. So yes, we are all around the solstice energy from Thursday or Friday, and the full moon energy. So there's a lot of very topsy-turvy stuff happening at the moment. And what you'll find is that for a lot of people, that is bringing some weird, almost like ripples in the way that they feel, or the way that, you know, things around them are happening. It really does feel like there's a ripple effect, almost as if like the universe has had a stone thrown in the cosmos, and it's gravitating out in a way that is causing some little ripples for people. Some people are having a really positive time out of nowhere. Some people are having a bit of a dip, again, out of nowhere. It's just because we've got all of this conflicting energy going on at the moment with that full moon, which normally brings its own type of energy. And then we've got the solstice coming in with its like strengthening growth, it's like embiggening beam energy. Do you know what I mean? Like an enlarging beam, but from The Simpsons, embiggen, because I love that word. So an embiggening beam, like it's boosting everybody's energy and boosting the way that the earth is feeling. So yeah, there's a lot of wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey spiritual stuff. So then let's have a look in that there chat. Hello. Oh, good evening to, hang on one second, let me take the TikTok ticky thing off. Right, it looks like, so I've got two questions in, one from Asia, the person, not the continent, and one from Noor. So then, hello, Noor's question came in. Hi, may I get a reading? And Asia said, can I ask what will be Ben's next action? So, you know what we do on this channel, when we have two questions in, we do one of these. So what is a talisman toss? Well, it's exactly like tossing a coin, except with these wonderful talismans. So let me show you the options that we've got. We've got 5 different ones relating to the 5 different elemental symbols. So we've got air, we've got spirit, we've got water, we've got fire, and of course we've got earth. So we're going to pick, I tell you what, because it's just been solstice, let's go with the spirit element today. And we're going to toss the spirit, we're going to toss the talisman. So how this works, Noor, your question came in first, and Asia, your question came in second. So Noor, you will be the sigil, that always goes first, and Asia, you will be the word. So you are spirit with the witch casket logo on, and they're the people that made these. Okay, so then here we go, we're going to toss the talisman. So fingers crossed for both of you. Don't forget, Noor, you are sigil side up. Asia, you are writing side up. We always start sigil side up, and I've put my arm here so it doesn't roll on the floor. Let's go for it. Oh, there we go. So it's landed sigil side up. There we go. So that was Noor. Thank you, Asia. It's lovely, isn't it? It was a birthday gift a couple of weeks back from my brother from another mother. The lovely Neil, who is normally on the channel as a moderator, but unfortunately he can't be here tonight, but he will be back. So yes, normally Neil, Necro Neil he's called, and Necro Neil sent me that as a birthday gift. So yes, I think it is lovely. I will just say, if anybody wants to purchase their own, it is from Lush. I don't know when or how or who or why, but I think it's beautiful for summer months. Really is. Right then, so Noor, we've got your question. May I get a reading on your connection with Amen, who is Aquarius? Absolutely, my darling. I've never seen the name Amen before like that. Right then, so Noor, I'm going to ring your bell 3 times in a circle to cleanse the space, and we're bringing in, as always, we're bringing in the lovely Wispy, the air elemental dragon. I could do with a bit of a breeze around my neck right now, Wispy, with that sunburn going on. So then, Wispy, Noor wants to know, can they get a reading on the connection with Amen, who is an Aquarius? I hope that helps you, Wispy, because I know nothing about astrology. apart from for me being a Gemini, and even then I don't really know any more than that. I don't know my sun sign, my leaning sign, my rising on the left sign, any of that. I just don't know. I know I'm a lazy witch. I know I am. You're all right, but I just don't. I've never understood it. I've tried several times with astrology, but I've never understood it. Right then, so Wispy, Nor wants to know, what is the connection with Eamon? So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll do the Where You Are Now. Oh, it's my favourite card. There's the Empress. What you need to know. Ooh, 10 of Cups reversed. And where all of this is headed. What is the future opportunity? Let's have a look. So, once again, this is... There we go. One day I'll be happy with the way the cameras are. But this is not that day. Right, Nor. So, you've got the Empress where you are right now. Now, the Empress is reversed, but the Empress is a card of abundance, of nurturing, of family, of all of those really nice, loving, positive vibes. Okay, you can see here, you saw the traditional, or one of the traditional interpretations of the Empress on the animation. This Empress, is that pen? No, well, it might be. Oh gosh. This Empress is has a crown of ethereal stars rather than the physical crown. We can see the barley sheath and the scythe used to cut it. It's probably not a scythe, is it? The sickle, I think it's called. And we can see the pomegranate seeds. So the Empress brings amazing abundance of not just money. She also brings an abundance of like a wealth that transcends money, if you know what I mean. So she's got people around her, there's love around her, all of that. Now she is reversed in this case, and this is where you are. So I do think there is a certain element of wanting that deeper connection, wanting that nurturing, loving connection. But the thing about the Empress, sometimes when she's reversed, it can be sometimes a little bit too much. Do you know what I mean? So the connection could be almost vibing into, not necessarily mothering, and definitely not stalking, but almost it being a little bit too much attention, too much messing about in your affairs. Do you know what I mean? Too much of an opinion on how you should do things in your life. Do you get where I'm coming from? Because the Empress is all about having, you know, those arms open, welcoming the family, welcoming the friends, being that really loving, oh, I need a hug, I need this support, I need that. But the Empress can also sometimes poke her nose in a little bit too much. So I don't know if there's an element here about maybe you and Eamon, maybe there's a slight bit of following too closely on social media, if I put it that way. I don't know. It could just be that the feelings of connection are related to that sort of nurturing vibe rather than it being a romantic vibe, if that makes sense. What you need to know, I think it is more, I don't want to say stalkery, right? But there's a little bit of something here. It came up with this. It's coming up with this as well, because the 10 of Cups is overflowing emotion, right? So Cups is the emotional suit. The 10, I always say when the 9 comes out, the 9 is full and the 10 is overflowing, right? So that 10 of Cups, that is so much emotion. It's like if you don't text somebody back, or somebody doesn't text you back within a couple of minutes, then you're like, why aren't you texting me back? Oh my God, what's wrong? You can't even do you know what I mean? It's like, it's too much. It's too much to handle. And so, yeah, it's like overkill. Do you know what I mean? With that 10, it's overflowing. It's flooding. Now, if it was this way up, it would be more of a positive vibe, but it does, with the reversal, it does feel as if those emotions could go a little bit the other way. Do you know what I mean? It could go, it could tip over slightly into that more obsessive type of situation. In the where this is heading for the opportunities to come, the Page of Wands is coming up. Now, Wands is all about self-esteem, security, and how you see yourself, all of that lovely goodness, right? Pages are very youthful energy. So I'm wondering if there's a certain amount of, like, if you are slightly maybe obsessing about Amen, then it could well be that Amen actually secretly is quite liking that and getting buoyed up on that. If Amen is the one that is, you know, getting a little bit too much with you, it could be that you're getting that little bit of a boost from that. Because I'm not being wrong, right? Let's not encourage stalking or anything like that at all. I think it's all, you know, some people take things way too far. But having an admirer gives you a little bit of a boost, doesn't it? Having somebody send you a message that's a little bit flirty, it's quite nice. Somebody say, "Oh, you look very attractive today." Oh, well, thank you. Oh, it's very nice to hear. Thank you. Well, maybe, you know, maybe we could go for coffee. Oh, possibly, maybe, yes, maybe. It's a nice feeling. Do you know what I mean? When somebody pays you attention, even if the way they're paying it is a little bit overboard. That doesn't mean you have to open up your life to that person. It doesn't mean you have to let them in. But sometimes even having somebody kind of come on a bit strong, it's a bit of an ego boost. And I think that's what this card is talking about. Now, in terms of these two, Wispy, I'm going to pull a fourth card just to clarify where we are with these two, because both of them being reversed and both of them being a bit obsessive, I want to just see whether that is what this is. So my question, Wispy, is this something we need to worry about in terms of stalkery obsessiveness? Oh, we've got the Hanged One reversed. So the Hanged One, like, don't be worried about the name. Right, it's not hanged as in hung, unalived. Basically, the story of the Hanged Man or the Hanged One is that this person chooses to be in this situation, which is why in this situation it's a form of rope art in Japan that this is related to. But in the standard depiction of the Hanged Man or the Hanged One or the Hanged, this person is tied by their ankle onto a branch, and that tie isn't actually knotted, it isn't tied, but they're hanging there anyway. And the Hanged One talks about waiting for and sacrificing time, so waiting for a longer period of time, sacrificing things over a long period, and then getting, how can I put it? Then having the answers or the wisdom that you need, right? So the way this is here, it feels, thank you, Holland. Holland's just sent me their no contact. So obviously Holland's in the chat. Holland's one of the moderators. So if you are no contact, then that would make more sense and would flip basically the meaning. So I think the connection is there, right? We've got this 10 of Cups, but this Hanged One is talking about that long-term sacrifice. So it could be that there is a strong connection from the recent past, or from the past, that there was that really strong connection that was so intense, that's the word I'm looking for, so intense that it's kind of overwhelming. And now I don't know whether you've had to step back or whether Amen stepped back, but with this Hanged One reverse coming into play, it's almost like one of you have had to take a step back from that because it was too much to be able to process. Does that make sense? So if you were the one that stood back, then that's the reason why. If Amen was the one that stood back, again, that is the reason why. It's not because there's a lack of connection. It's almost like there's too much connection, if that makes sense. But yeah, hopefully, my darling, I hope that helps, Noah. I do think there is this boost, this little sort of frisson of you know, that connection was a nice thing to have. It's just whether or not this goes anywhere long term. The page is a very youthful energy with the page. The knights are teenage energy. The pages are young, almost childish, childlike energy, very, very naive. So it could well be that whatever this connection was, it was overpowering for one of you, but that later down the line, that may well come back in, if that makes sense. It's a bit hard to tell on such a few number of cards, but I hope that helps. And it does feel like whatever that connection was, it was a doozy when it happened. So yeah, hopefully, my darling, that does make some sense. Right then, let me just hit the other camera. Thank you very much. And let's have a look at the chat. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully that helps, Noah. I guess it depends on who went no contact first. Maybe you need to reach out if it was an intense connection, and you're happy to now you're in a better place to deal with that connection. It could well be that Amen stopped connecting because it was too intense for them to deal with at the time. Either way, that it doesn't feel like that door is closed. Hopefully that makes sense. I've just realized how messy my hair looks then. It's really nice when I've got the top down. The card cam is really nice because I can just like lift my hair up, especially with the fan on. It cools me down, but it does make a mess of my hair. Anyway, thank you, Ed. Anyway, I do think it's time. Should we go for another reading, everybody? I think we should. So how do you get a reading on this channel? Well, there are two ways. The first way is to send it through as a super chat. That comes through automatically on my system, comes through to a different screen, and it also means that you get a longer reading and you are guaranteed to be the next reading up. If we get multiple super chats, I read them in the order they came in, and then I open up a free round. If you don't want to send a super chat, feel free to pop your question in the live chat starting with the word question, and that may well be enough for you to get picked. However, I do pick those questions at random. Okay, so the only guarantee to get your question in is to send it through as a super chat. Otherwise, it is completely at random. Anyway, with all of that being said, go ahead and pop your questions into the live chat right now, and yeah, I will be picking one in just 1 minute's time. Okay, let's have a look in that there live chat. Oh, here we go. So then it does look as if I've got two questions in again. Jody and Asia. Right then, let me just take this ticker tape off the page. There you go. So then once again, we've got another one of it. Yes, indeed. So then I've lost my page now. I've clicked off the button. There we go. So then let's have a wee look. It looks like Jodie's came in just before Asia's. Asia, you're going to be a writing side again. Fingers crossed though. Right. So for you and Jodie. So this time we're going to pick the, there we are. Look, the air elemental for our lovely dragon Wispy. And the way it works on this channel is we toss the talisman, a bit like tossing a coin. Jodie, you are going to be the sigil side, and Asia, you are going to be the writing side, witch casket and the word air. And Jodie, you are the sigil, the sign for air. Right then, let's have a look. As always, we toss it with the sigil side up. And we land this time on the second person, which is Asia. Well done, Asia. Jodie, go ahead, select and copy your question. In case there's time, there should be time for another one after these. So there you are, Asia. The element of air came through for you. So then, let me just click on your question. There we go. And let's have a look. So, as always, we are ringing the bell. And that cleanses the energy. And we're bringing in Wispy, the air elemental. So there you go. It must have been in the air. You see, something in the air, Asia. So let's have a look. Ben's next actions and intentions towards you. Sounds interesting. Right then, let me. Oh gosh, hang on. There we go. I've got all sorts of stuff happening with my screens at the moment, but it should be good. So Wispy, what are Ben's next actions towards Asia? And what are his intentions? What does Ben want? That's what we want to know. So then let's have a look. And we're going to do the... let's have a look. We're going to do the... I'll tell you what, Wispy, we're going to do this. The first card is going to sum up where Ben is, right? Where Ben is now. The second card is going to be Ben's path. And then the third card is the potential. Okay, so we'll see there whether his paths are romantical or what his path is. And if it involves the old cups, because we know that cups is romance and emotions and all of that loveliness. Okay, so Ben's path and the potential for it to interact with Asia. That's what we want to have a look at. And we... Oh, is it romantical? Yes. Yes, it is. Look, there's a little bit of... Oh, my. You've got the King of Cups. So Cups is the emotional suit, Asia. And the King is when... well, the King is the King of Cups. It's the King of romance, the King of... you know, love and amore and all of those lovely, lovely things. So you've got the King of Cups as a clarifying card. So everything we look at is going to come through the focus of the King of Cups. So then, and you can see, I always think that this king is very comfortable, right? He's got his shoes off, he's got his lovely pink socks on, he's taken his crown off, put it on the end, and this is one of those Ottoman-y type things that are on the end of the beds, like a blanket box. So for me, it's almost like this king is about to get you, you know, into the old sack. So, but what I love about this deck, look, this king has also got a cochlear implant. No reason for it. It's just showing diversity in, you know, some people have cochlear implants. Isn't that just wonderful? Don't you think that is wonderful, right? That this deck just features people as people. There's no, in the little book, it doesn't say, oh, the king's cochlear implant means he can hear. No. No reference to it. It's just some people have cochlear implants and the king's one of them. I love that. I love that about this deck. Anyway, right. So, where Ben is. Ooh, the moon. A major arcana card. Right then. Let's get the animations ready. And what is Ben's path? The Six of Swords. Okay. And what is the potential with you and Ben? Oh, my darling. Right. Okay. Right, so we've got the moon in the where Ben is right now. The moon is a lovely card, but so the moon represents spirituality. It can represent a month because, you know, the lunar cycle. It's also full moon, which is obviously the period we're in at the moment. We're in a lovely full moon, the strawberry moon. It doesn't mean it looks red. It's just because it's June and the strawberries are starting to grow and blossom and all, and come up and all of that stuff, right? So got all this stuff on this deck. Anyway, the moon represents a little bit of navel gazing, a little bit of maybe stopping doing things and spending time looking at the moon, gazing at the moon. There's a certain amount of spirituality linked in with this card as well, but it's not an active card. It's quite a passive card, the moon. So it doesn't feel as if Ben is the most like go-getter. It almost feels like he's looking within and thinking some thoughts. Do you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't feel as if there's an awfully strong connection with anybody else right now. It could be that there is a connection with the moon, because again, at the time of the full moon, people become lunatics, and that's where the word lunar comes. No, people are affected by the full moons in lots of different ways. I can always feel when the full moon is, even if, you know, I'm somewhere where I can't see what the moon is actually doing. I can feel it more than, you know, remember it on a calendar. Again, ADHD, so I forget everything. But the full moon, or the moon in this particular position, I don't think Ben is paying much attention to anything right now apart from himself. I don't know if that rings true with you. Where Ben is heading, Ben's path right now, we've got the Six of Swords. Swords is trouble and strife. Okay, Swords is challenges, obstacles, hurdles to overcome. The Six of Swords is a large amount of, it's like you're wanting to leave everything behind, but you end up taking that shit with you. Do you know what I mean? So, and this is reversed. So I don't know whether this is Ben's hassle or Ben's like challenges that he's going through, Ben's like issues and Ben's shit that he's trying to work through at the moment, or whether this is from family or from the people around him, because the sixes are often related to, you know, it's not, what is it they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's like that. It takes a village to, you know, or the people around you. I've just lost my train of thought, but what I'm saying is, it's the people around you that affect your mood and affect your actions and bring those issues. And it feels like Ben is, you know, those issues are being brought to him from the people around him, friends, family, the village, or whatever that may be. The people that are in his life are all bringing their own little hurdles, because it's reversed. It doesn't feel as if this is Ben's choice to be taking all this on, but it almost feels like he's lumbered with it, if that makes sense. Even though I don't think he's doing a lot of planning or a lot of active, like there's no active, this is how we're going to do things. It's just, there's a lot of shit around at the moment. The potential, I've got to be so careful. Well, I don't have to be so careful. I've got to be so honest, right, my darling? This is the heartbreak card. The Three of Swords, universally recognized as the heartbreak card. However, this deck has done something a little bit different. I don't know whether you can see. Just let me see if I can point it out. I'll tell you what, we'll get this however many thousand-year-old Viking nail. If you see just here, see the stitching? It's actually, the thread starts there. It's not blood there, it's thread. And it's been stitched, 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 and stitched, stitched, stitched. And then this is the thread that is coming out. So the heartbreak is real. However, this is a card of repair. This is a card of things actually getting better. Okay, so I don't know whether you and Ben have had a massive fallout, or whether you've had a massive disconnect, or even broken up, but it does feel as if there is, the heart is healing, right? So this is the potential. So this is saying, if Ben, how can I put it? If the two of you are in a romantic relationship, right? Which it could well be, because we've got the cups and because we've got the heartbreak card, it could be that you've split up, or that you've somehow had quite an explosive separation, but that now both of you are maybe feeling of wanting to patch things up, or maybe you're wanting to, you know, heal together and move forward together. Does that make sense? Because the King of Cups is here, again, it's saying that all of this is about romance, and the fact that this 3 is repaired is giving us that hint to maybe there is a future further down the line. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. I really hope it does. But thank you ever so much, Asia, for your question. I do hope that makes sense. And yeah, if this is what you're wanting, give it some time. Okay, give it some time. It feels like there's a lot of pressure here right now, a lot of deep navel thinking, looking at his belly button, not really thinking about planning, just cogitating, ruminating, going over and over what's happened. But if you're not currently together, then maybe this could be in the future. It all depends on what you want, my love. So I hope that helps. And as always, thank you. Oh no, that's not going to work, is it? Well done, Lisa. Put the card in the wrong way round. But as always, thank you ever so much for your question, and I do hope that gives you some sort of guidance. I do have to say, everybody, the details are on the top of the screen. Just there, look. You can click join and join our membership on the channel. Memberships are open from just £2.99 a month. You can join the membership. You get free doodahs. What's it called? Special emojis, that's the thing. So you get your we've got our own emojis just for the channel, and we also do live streams that are just for the members. And also a new thing that I'm doing now, when I do an unboxing video, or when I do a video in general, I will put the full version up for the members, and I will, if I remember, I will make those live as well. So in other words, if I'm doing an unboxing, or I'm talking about a particular deck or review or something, I will go live for the members on that, so you can interact with me as it's being filmed. And then you can go back and see the edited version where I cut down a whole bunch of stuff to make it a video that's suitable for the YouTubes. So yeah, you'll get to see all of that, where I know, right, watching the live streams, you would think I was the most professional, never mess up, never press the wrong buttons, everything is always absolutely fantastic. I know, right? Never do nothing wrong. However, see what I actually do. But if you would like to join the memberships, you can do. Let me just have a look at that in the chat then. Oh gosh, hang on, Asia, there's loads in the back. Let me just have a look. Let me have a look. It's breezy today. Yay, that's good then. Was water... Oh, I don't know. There's chats going on about Phil Collins drumming as a gorilla. I don't know what any of that means. Reflecting energy. It could be with the full moon. Yeah, there is an element to that. It's a third part. Oh, hang on. There's a third party situation, and apparently they are due a breakup. How are they due a breakup? Oh, hang on. You had a fallout, and I'm trying to read it on a little tiny thing. I should just read it off the screen, but then I'm turning my head away from you all. We had a fallout in no contact, but another reader said his current relationship will end and he will try to reconcile with me. Not sure you want it, to be honest. Then don't do it. That's three of swords, though. That is the heartbreak card. So it could well be that he is due for a relationship breakup, or with this deck specifically, it can also mean that the heart is healing, and maybe if you want him back, then that's that. You don't want to be second best if something didn't work out with someone else. He's not doing well financially, so you can assume he's mega stressed. Listen, if you don't want to be second best, don't be second best. That you're 100% in your right and 100% correct to say you don't want to be second best. Nobody deserves to be a backup choice, right? No, nobody deserves to be a backup choice. Yeah, look, Exactly. I agree with Patricia. Listen, whatever his relationship, do you want to be the rebound? Do you want to be the rebound? No, of course you don't. Nobody wants to be the second choice rebound. So what I would say, my darling, is absolutely just let him have his relationship breakup. If that's what's going to happen, if that's what that heartbreak card means, then let him go through that. And if down the line he realizes why his relationships don't work, and he works on himself and becomes a better human being and more loving and more open and more caring and more honest, then maybe get back with him. Maybe. And that would be the key word. Anyway, my darling, thank you ever so much. I hope that helps. Oh, I didn't know Nanette was streaming yesterday. I didn't know she was streaming. So apologies, Nanette, if you're watching this on replay. I didn't know you were streaming, my love. I was very busy last night doing full moon things. No worries, my darling. Right then, it is 12:45. No, it's not. It's 20:45. It's 8:45 in the evening here in the UK. We finish at 9 p.m. in the evening here in the UK, which means we've got exactly time for one more reading, if I'm quick. So if you would like to take that last slot, how can you possibly do it? Well, there are two ways. The first way is the free round is now officially open. Go ahead, pop your question into the live chat if you are wanting that slot. Put it into the live chat, starting with the word question. That will then go into the chat, into the hat, if you like. And then I will pick one of those questions at random, okay? At random. If, however, you... no, actually, I completely agree. So, yes... Hang on a second, sorry. Send it on the super chat. Please don't send. I'm looking for the thing, Patricia. I can't see it. Please don't send any more. I've got it. Please don't send any more super chats, because the super chat readings tend to be a lot longer, a lot more detailed, and they take a lot more time that we just don't have. So if you would like a question, please go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will choose one of them at random. I might even get to spin the thing, hopefully, if many questions come in. So anyway, go ahead and do that right now. And yeah, you've got about 30 seconds. Who pressed the wrong buttons? 30 seconds. Right then, let me have a look. It looks like we've got two questions. Is that right? Hang on one second. Turn off the banner. No, that's the wrong screen. There we go. So yes, indeed, I've got two questions. So once again, it's all about the talisman toss tonight, isn't it? It's all about the talisman toss. So then, Jodie McQueen and Creative Seed. Good evening, Creative Seed. I've got your questions in. So then, let's settle this the old-fashioned way with a talisman toss. Straight after... In fact, let's do that now, shall we? Let's do the talisman toss now. Sorry, I don't know what happened. So then, if you haven't been here before, a talisman toss is exactly like tossing a coin, except we use these lovely talismans from Witch Casket. So, the first person gets the head or the sigil. Okay, so Jodie McCartin, your question came in first, so you get the sigil side, the lovely symbol. And Creative Seed, my darling, your question came in second, so you get the writing side, the Witch Casket logo and the word spirit. So best of luck to both of you. In, and we always toss it talisman side, sigil side up. So that's the way we always do it. So then, in 3, 2, 1. There you go. That is the sigil side up. Unfortunately, Creative Seed, that's also going to be the last reading for tonight. But thank you for being here. Please do, by the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button and then also hit subscribe and ding your bell. That's really important. And then change your settings to all so that YouTube lets you know whenever I go live, especially if we do one of those ad hoc late night lives. Right then, so Jodie's question is the last one up tonight. So let's have a look. As always, we are going to ring the bell. The bells. I could do with the bells now. Bells over ice would be lovely. A little bit of whiskey. I don't even drink whiskey, but I could just fancy a little something. Do you know what I mean? A little something of a summer evening. Wispy, Jodie McCartin would like to know, do the spirits have anything for Jodie? Do the spirits have anything? Is there anything coming up? Any key messages or anything like that? Jodie, I'm going to do a slightly different reading. Mods, you're going to have to watch me on time. I'm going to keep the chat open because this could go... this could end up being half an hour. It won't be half an hour. It'll be 9 minutes, I promise. So then, let's have a look. So, Jodie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an intuitive reading with 3 cards taking the place of 1, if that makes sense. So then, what we're going to do, Wispy, we just want to see if there is a message or anything from the Akashic that Jodie needs to be aware of. Okay, and what we're going to look at is where Jodie is, and what Jodie needs to know. And go on, I'll do the third one because it's going to annoy me otherwise. And what is likely to come, and we're going to take it in general terms, so not card by card, in general terms for the pattern of all 3. So where you are right now, my darling, let's have a deeper look. So we've got the King of Cups, so there is definitely somebody in your life with a strong emotional connection to yourself. The King of Cups can represent a partner. It can represent somebody who is it could be your partner, or it could be, with kings, it can also be father figures. We've got an Ace of Pentacles, so new work, and the Knight of Pentacles reverse. So there's something here going on around someone. Oh, hang on, come on, Wispy, let's do this. Let's hone in on this. Oh, I'm also fighting off cramp. I've just got to sit in the right position not to get the cramp. Right. So there is a strong connection here with either working or trying to better your situation financially, right? Trying to get ahead of a difficult financial situation or a troubling financial issue that's happened. I don't know whether that means paying back the King of Cups, but there's certainly something where you're wanting to put you're wanting to sow some seeds, but unfortunately other people around you, maybe the father figure element, but people around you are maybe questioning your ability to keep on this long term. Okay, so it feels like you're wanting to start something at the moment, but maybe there are doubts from others to see whether or not this is actually something you're capable of and whether you're going to stick at it long term, things like that. If there is somebody kind of going, oh, are you sure, they've all got your best interests in mind, right? That's to bear in mind. It's just maybe there's been a pattern of not following through on plans that you were wanting to do in the past. In the So what you need to know, we've got the High Priestess. There are rules. There are rules, right? You have to follow whatever these rules are, whether it's, I think it's connected to this. There are rules. You've got to do things the right way. We've got the King of Wands reversed here. So there is something here. Again, interesting that we've got two kings coming up. There is something here about crossing boundaries with the kings. One is the Cups and one is the King of Wands reversed, which is the red flag. So it's almost like there is the potential for a relationship clash. Doesn't mean necessarily that this is one partner over a father figure or a father over a partner or whatever. It feels more like you need to be really careful how you handle this king, right? Because it's almost like you say the wrong thing and they could go off a bit fiery, even though if you said that same thing last week, they'd be absolutely fine. So just be a bit wary around this king energy, particularly if you haven't been following the rules. I do think that there are some issues here. Maybe this is a reflecting on age or experience, because we've got the King of Wands hitting that red flag around these rules with the Page of Sword energy coming in, and the Page is that youthful, childlike energy. So maybe you've broken some rules that you didn't know that were there. Hang on, I've got cramp. That's not good. Hang on. Oh gosh. Right. I'm moving the microphone up because I'm standing up. But yes, so maybe there are some rules here that have been broken. Maybe you weren't aware of them, but now you're having to deal with that circumcise. Oh my gosh. Deal with that stance. That's the word. Deal with those issues, not with the circumcise. Deal with those issues and deal with that situation, that because you've overstepped the boundaries somewhere here, that is now, you know, now you're having to deal with the consequences. It does feel though that you're going to have a bit of a rocky rocky end to the month and beginning of July, because we've got the Seven of Swords, which is all about trouble, troubles and strife, the obstacles, the challenges in life, mixed with the Queen of Wands. So be prepared to feel like you're not being listened to, or that you're not being given your due, because you're not being heard, you're not being seen. And we've got this Lovers reverse. Now this deck is probably the best deck for the Lovers card, if that makes sense, because it actually isn't talking about a relationship. It's talking about the connection with your inner self. So it feels, I say the best card, obviously that isn't something that anybody wants to go through, but it feels like towards the end of the month there is going to be this twist and this shifting of energy where you're going to feel like you're either not being heard, not being seen, or that it's almost like you've got the answers to some problems, but people are not listening to you. And that is, or that you're not listening to yourself. Ooh, wispy, is that it? So the Lovers in this deck is actually talking about inner child, inner self, getting connection with your shadow self, all of those lovely things, right? So it's talking about having that deeper connection. But in this case, it's like you're not even listening to that side of yourself. You're not even, you know, I'm trying to lift this up, you're not even prepared for, you know, to take those chances and to listen to what your inner self is telling you, and that is going to lead to this where you're not seen and not heard. Does that make sense? And it's almost like you're the one bringing these troubles in because you're not listening to your gut. So whatever is happening at the end of the month, right, the fact that you've got all of this coming in, it feels like you need to avoid this. In the next couple of weeks, listen to your gut instinct, listen to your heart, listen to your head, listen to what your gut is telling you. If something doesn't feel right, listen to it. If alarm bells start going off, listen to them. Do you know what I mean? Don't just poo-poo them. Listen to what that is telling you, because there will be something here that gives you a chance to avoid this scenario. Hopefully that helps, Jodie McCartin, sorry. And I hope that really does help. Mods, how about that? A 9-card reading in 8 minutes. There you go. Hopefully that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. And come and let us know in the next few weeks how things are going, because we're nosy buggers. I mean, because we're really caring here, and we really do care about our viewers and our lovely subscribers. So yes, thank you ever so much for that. Just be careful, Jodie, towards the end of the month. Be very careful. And also, Whether or not you stick to those rules is entirely up to you. But if you need to, because I sped that up a little bit, didn't I? I did a speed read. If you need to, you can always go back and rewatch the last 10 minutes of this stream. It will be up for, well, I wouldn't say eternity, but it'll be up for quite a while. Anyway, my darling, I hope that helps. Thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. Thank you to those of you that sent super chats. Thank you very much to those of you that found us out for the first time tonight and joined joined the subscribers. And thank you to everybody who has become members recently. Thank you very much to you all. It is amazing that you are prepared to help support the channel in the way that you do, and thank you very, very much. It means that I can do these streams when we can, and I can do them with a with a fairly, that's the word I'm trying to say, decent camera and setup. So yes, thank you ever so much for all of the members. And of course, my biggest thanks, as always, has to go to those wonderful mods that we've got here. Thank you to the mods. You know I couldn't do it without you. And yeah, that is it, everyone. I am back on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, to make sure you stay tuned for that. And before that, I'm going to go and lie down. I've got sunburn. I'm telling you, I've probably got heat stroke. Anyway, I'm going to go and do that. And I will see you next time. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I'll definitely see you on the next one. Bye-bye.